Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mahendra. I'm a Salesforce technical architect with around 14 years of experience into Salesforce ecosystem. And today we are going to talk about data skew. So let's quickly jump to the agenda for today. We are going to introduce data skew. We will just try to understand what it means, and then we'll quickly move to the different types of data skews which could happen in our Salesforce org, and ultimately we'll move to the final tips and takeaways. So let's get started with the definition. So as a golden rule within Salesforce, you should not have more than 10,000 records owned by a single user, single group, right? Or a particular parent. Like in a lookup relationship, parent should not, hold more than 10,000 child records. So one example could be, account. For example, one particular account should not have more than 10,000 contacts or opportunities under it. So, I mean, if such data is there in your org, so this condition is known as data skew, right? So, let's move on to the first type of data skew, which is account data skew. So, all we all know account object has a unique relationship with contacts and opportunity objects in Salesforce, right? So whenever related child records such as opportunity is being updated, a temporary hold or lock is put in place on the parent record, right? So what it does is it ensures data integrity and allows Salesforce to perform other updates in the background. And these updates could be running validation rules or other automations, right? So if you have a large number of contacts, more than 10,000 related to the same account, and you change the sharing rules, this forces a recalculation which could cause performance issues for your users. So that's the reason we should not have more than 10,000 records under a single account record. Next type is lookup data skew. So similar to account data skew, if you have custom lookup relationships in your org and a custom parent record is holding more than 10,000 child records, so again this is similar to account data skew, and again it is going to cause you a lot of performance issues in your org. Next is ownership data skew. So within Salesforce, you can set up role hierarchy similar to your organization hierarchy, and then you can share records with your managers to ensure that cases are only visible to the customer service team, for example. So if you, let's say for example, in your company you have super efficient customer service team, that resolves the cases very quickly. So over the time, what will happen is in turn, a large number of records will be owned by this particular customer service team. So let's say in future, if you have to adjust the role hierarchy in your Salesforce org, so Salesforce would need to recalculate who has access to each record. So this again could cause issues when dealing with a large number of records. So this condition is known as ownership data skew. So how we can reduce the impact of data skew? So what steps we should keep in mind when dealing with those when avoiding data skew, right? So first step could be we should try avoid creating generic system users in our org, because this will unnecessary I mean you might unknowingly go on assigning all the records to this particular system user, and that might cause ownership data skew in your org. So what we can do is, if you have to create a generic system user, best thing is you don't assign any role to it, or if at all you have to assign a role, you keep it at the top of the hierarchy. Second, consideration you should keep in mind is like regularly you should keep on removing old records from the system to reduce the number of records being held in a particular org. So either you can do data archiving, or you can do data purging regularly in your org. Next thing to consider is open sharing model, using the defaults of public read write to reduce the impact of recalculating sharing rules. So it will definitely going to help. Next is you should try to limit automation as much as possible and remove unnecessary code. Try to improve. This will definitely improve the time taken for the record to be saved. And last but not the least, if if there's no need to have a lookup relationship, you are just adding, you know if you can do away with the pick list field instead of a lookup relationship field, then you should definitely consider that. Okay, so final tips and takeaways. So if you are planning to change the design of your Salesforce org, be sure to consider account data skew and these different other data skews, and try to avoid them as much as possible. Ultimately, Salesforce is not a data warehouse, right? It's not designed to store or hold millions of records. So therefore, if you are dealing with large volume of data, you should refer to the tips I provided in the previous slide, and you should try to avoid the data skew as much as possible. So that was all about data skew. Um, thank you for staying on, and stay tuned for the other topics. Thank you.